Hello, we are I Killed the Prom Queen, and we're going to go through all the tracks on our new record, Beloved, for you right now and talk a bit about them. Track 1, Beginning of the End, is an introduction track to the record. It's not a full song. We sort of had some intro ideas floating around throughout the whole writing process, but we didn't actually complete writing this one until we were in the studio in Sweden. It's got some pretty cool stuff on there. We actually collaborated with a friend of ours, Christopher Franzen, who has a project called Lights and Motion, which is like a real atmospheric kind of post-rock studio project. His stuff's really awesome, and he did some cool little sounds and helped us with the strings on there.
The next song is To the Wolves. It's kind of a good sum up musically of the whole record, I think. It's pretty fresh and got our usual Euro vibe.
The song actually stemmed from a guitar riff and some electronic drums that Jamie wrote. And then the little lead over the top of the intro wasn't recorded until I think like the last week in the studio out of the 6 weeks.
Bright Enough's the oldest song. We wrote it when JJ and Sean were still in the band, and it was a bit of a fluke song because it happened, 95% of it got wrote in the jam room on the day and didn't really change from that like 2 years ago. So it's always been a favourite of a lot of ours just because it's always felt pretty strong, I thought.
The next song is Melior, which is one of the kind of faster, more brutal songs. That's Kevin's brainchild.
I was in Darwin visiting family about a week before we did the jam lock-in, and just came up with a lot of my parts for a lot of the songs while I was up there on acoustic guitar, sitting around a hospital under a tree. So that might be why it came out pretty dark.
My great-grandmother, I wasn't around when she passed away, and I guess I felt like I never had closure there, so I wrote a song for her.
We just couldn't quite get it past the 3/4 mark, and I had another cool riff, which is the key change breakdown. And we just kind of pasted that in there, and we actually didn't really like the song too much at the time, and then we finished recording and we were like, wow, it turned out to be one of the best.
Talbot Street is the name of the street that my high school was on, and the song's it's the only breakup song on the record, and high school was the last time I could remember caring about chasing girls with my friends, so that's what it's about.
It's a favourite for some of us as well because it features our friend Bjorn Speedstrid, who is the singer of a band called Soilwork. And Soilwork have always been a big influence on I Killed the Prom Queen's sound. And luckily we became friends with Bjorn and the band, and he came in to do some vocal producing with us, and we convinced him to lay down the melodic chorus. So I think it adds a nice little touch to the song as well. Track 7 is called Kjærlighet, which is a Norwegian word basically meaning love or beloved. This song is pretty cool for me. I wrote pretty much most of the music. I wrote it all in one night, staying in my friend's warehouse by an open fire. I was feeling pretty emotional, and I also ended up writing the lyrics to the song as well during the studio time. And essentially it's a bit of a different song to the rest of the record. It's a bit slower and a bit more of a ballad vibe. And lyrically it's just about my experience with chicks. It relates to how it is to be in a band when you fall for somebody who is perhaps in another country or on the other side of the world to you, and how that makes you feel and how that makes you act towards that person.
Beaten Path came from some of the first riffs we worked on when we even talked about being a band again. The main riff in it stuck around for forever, and nothing sounded good with it. I was just pretty insistent on using it for something, and the rest of the song just kind of popped up around that in about a day. I thought the record needed something a bit more almost punk vibed in the pace compared to the rest of the tracks.
Lyrically, Nightmares is just about our passion as a band for veganism and our love for animals, and to get inspiration for it, I watched a video of thousands of pigs being buried alive, and later that night I literally had nightmares.
No One Will Save Us. This is another Kevin brainchild.
It was about 11:30 at Jam, and I had most of the song in my head for about a week, but I'd never actually put it to guitar, and just threw it onto a laptop really quick, and it didn't really change much from that initial demo until we were in the studio. Just kind of all rolled pretty easy. Threw on some guest vocals on the last day of the mix, and we're like, sweet, song finished, which happened with a lot of the songs actually.
The closing track on the record is titled Brevity.
While we were doing demos and stuff for the record, I'd always just try and contribute, mostly boring breakdowns. And then sometimes if I was feeling inspired, I'd put crappy choruses between them, and it turned out this time that the dudes liked it, and it turned into a song.
Sick song.
Lyrically, the song's just about getting older, I think, and just clinging to your youth, basically not wanting to grow up.
So that's our album, Beloved. Please check it out when you get a chance.